Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1980 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today we have the first game in a three-game set at Fenway versus the Boston Red Sox. Pitching for the Tigers today is Jack Billingham, who is 3-6, and he's going to be facing off against John Tudor, who is 2-6. If you have been following along, you saw that yesterday we put up 6 runs in the first inning and we never looked back. We had 3 home runs, and despite giving up 5 walks, Dave Rozema pitched the Tigers to a victory. So a great way to finish off the Indians series. Tons of runs scored. If you haven't watched these games, they're some of the most entertaining games of the series. So of the season, I should say. So feel free to take a look back on those, and I'm sure you'll enjoy them. Let's go ahead and get started with today's game. As always, I appreciate everyone following along. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. So here it is. Jack Billingham is on the mound today, 3-6. We have all of our bullpen available except for Capizzello, who pitched 3 innings in yesterday's game. And we're facing John Tudor. This is our lineup. We're going to go over those in 1 second. So let's pull up the stats, and then we're going to give the batting lineup rundown. Batting first for the Tigers is going to be Rick Peters, playing second base. Batting second for the Tigers is Alan Trammell at first base. Batting third today is Steve Kemp in left field. Batting fourth is catcher Carlton Fisk, batting cleanup. And batting fifth is Barry Bonnell in center field. Batting sixth is Lance Parrish. He's going to be our DH today. And batting seventh is Champ Summers, playing right field. In the 8th spot is Mark Wagner, playing shortstop. And in the 9th position will be Tommy Brookins, playing third base. And before we get started, let me just pull up John Tudor's number so everyone can take a look. Feel free to pause that. And lead off today, here it is, Rick Peters. All right. Peters is going to go down looking for the first out of the game. And batting second is going to be Alan Trammell. Trammell's going to get a base hit through the left side. Oh, and an error on the left fielder, Jim Rice. And so Trammell advances to second base. And we have a runner in scoring position for Steve Kemp. Kemp is going to line out to the second baseman, and Trammell's doubled off second base. So a double play there, and for Jack Billingham, this is the Tigers' defense today. Whitaker was tired, so I put Rick Peters, who is a part-time second baseman and not very good defensively, at second base. And in right field, we have Champ Summers, who's also poor defensively. So this is kind of what lineup we're stuck with against left-handers like John Tudor. So batting leadoff is going to be Joe Morgan against Jack Billingham. And Billingham walks the first batter, Morgan. I'm going to pull up Jack Billingham's numbers real quick so you can take a look. He's actually been really consistently average for us. He hasn't had any games where he's really blown up, and he hasn't had any games where he's slowed things down. Oh, I'm so sorry. Again, this is new for me, so I forgot to do the lineup for the Red Sox. So batting first is Joe Morgan, playing second base. Batting second is going to be Jim Dwyer at first. Batting third is going to be the rookie Wade Boggs at third base. Fourth, and batting cleanup is going to be Jim Rice, playing left field. In the 5th spot is going to be the DH Carl Yastrzemski. In the 6th position is going to be catcher Dave Rader. In 7th position is going to be the center fielder Tom Paquette. Batting 8th is going to be Rick Burleson, shortstop. And batting 9th is going to be Mike Kingery in right field. Okay, so yeah, I'm trying a different format, and the first game was yesterday, and it went really smoothly as Joe Morgan is thrown out at second base. And then today, I guess I'm a little off my game already, but that's all right. What is not all right is Jim Dwyer depositing a home run into the short porch in right field, and the Red Sox are on the board 1-0. So here's Wade Boggs with 1 out, and he's going to get a base hit down the right field line. It's going to be a double. And here I am praising Jack Billingham for his average pitching performance, and he gives up another hit to right field, and 2 runs and 3 hits in the first 4 batters. So Jim Rice gets the base hit, and Jim Dwyer scores. I'm sorry, it was Jim Rice that scored. So runner first, and Carl Yastrzemski is going to fly out to right field. It's going to be 2 down. And catcher Dave Rader comes to the plate. He's going to ground to Peters, and Peters commits an error. So yeah, he's definitely not Lou Whitaker at second base. And that defensive alignment may come into play later on as well. We're going to pull the outfield in to prevent a base hit scoring a run. Tom Paquette's going to hit it deep to center field, and that'll be the 3rd out. So here we go to the top of the 2nd. Carlton Fisk leading off against John Tudor. Fisk bats .390 versus left-handers. And he hits a line drive to left field, and it's going to be caught. So that's the 1st out of the inning. Next up is Barry Bonnell with 1 down. Bonnell grounds it to short, and that's going to be the 2nd out. And here's Lance Parrish, who had yesterday's game off, and he strikes out swinging. So a 1-2-3 inning for John Tudor. And that's going to, we're going to head to the bottom of the 2nd. Rick Burleson leading off gets a base hit into center field. So runner at first for Burleson. And here's Mike Kingery, who is batting .398, .405 versus right-handers. He came over in the trade for Dwight Evans. Dwight Evans went to the Kansas City Royals. And Kingery's taking over Evans's position. So Kingery grounds out to short. Burleson advances. So runner in scoring position for Joe Morgan. I'm going to pull the outfield in again. And Joe Morgan's going to pop it out to right field. And Burleson advances to third base. Summers does not have a strong arm out there. So 2 down, runner at third for Jim Dwyer, who had the home run in the 1st inning. And Jim Dwyer's going to send it to left field, and it's just caught at the wall. So no runs that inning. Tigers are still losing 2-0 as we head to the top of the 3rd. Here's Champ Summers, just like in yesterday's game. He's a lefty batting against a lefty, but he does hit lefties well. And Summers is going to have a deep fly ball to the deepest part of center field. And that's going to be the 1st out of the inning. So here's Mark Wagner filling in at shortstop while we move Trammell to first against these lefties. And Wagner's going to fly out to right field. Here's Tom Brookins, who's got his batting average. Whoa, over 200, and now he puts it over the Green Monster. So the Tigers are on the board with Brookins' 4th home run of the year. He might be the hottest Tiger right now. So back to the top of the lineup. Here's Rick Peters with 2 outs. And Peters is going to bloop it into center field, and it falls in for a base hit. Do I want to go for 2? Let's see. Peters has great speed, and Paquette has a below-average arm. Saying 50-50, I think we got to take a chance. Boom. And he is safe at second. So a double for Peters. Runner in scoring position for Trammell. who's batting .290 versus righties, 1-for-4 against Tudor. And he is going to hit it into left center field, and that'll be the third out. So we get a run on the board with Brookins' home run, and we head to the bottom of the third. Wade Boggs is going to be leading it off. Billingham's at 45 pitches. He doesn't have a very high endurance, so really no more than 5 to 6 innings for Billingham in any given start. Billingham gets Boggs to fly out to left, and here's Hall of Famer Jim Rice. Rice is going to walk. That's the second walk given up by Billingham. So one down, runner at first. Here's Carl Yastrzemski, batting .323, not bad for a 40-year-old. Yaz is going to fly out to left field, and that'll be the second out. And Dave Rader comes to the plate with a runner at first. And he's going to get a base hit up the middle. Rice is going to hold at second, and a little rally going for the Red Sox as Tom Paquette comes up with runners at first and second. And he's going to get a hit to center. Yes, it is. It does fall in, and run scores. It's going to be 3-1. Rader just stops at second base, and now we've got to pull the outfield in again. So this is not going to be a good game for Billingham, as he's running his pitch total up to 64 pitches. Did that fall in? Oh my gosh, that should have been caught. Unbelievable. So Burleson gets a base hit to center. Another run scores. Paquette advances to third. And we're back to the number 9 hitter, Mike Kingery. And Kingery's going to get a base hit to left. And I think that's about all we can do. We have 3 lefties coming up, and Billingham did not have it today. That is probably the worst start of the season for him. So, like I said earlier, he's been consistent. Oh, there we go. So we're going to bring in Pat Underwood, and Joe Morgan will be the first batter that Underwood faces, and he strikes him out. So we get out of the inning, giving up 3 runs, and we're down by 4. And even in the second game of the Indians series, when we were down 7-1, and we come back to win that game, we're never really out of it. So I'm not worried about being 4-run down, as I am, how are we going to have a good starting rotation to lead us toward the playoffs? So Kemp gets a base hit, and Carlton Fisk follows that up with a fly ball to center. So let's be Barry Bonnell up with 1 out. And Bonnell strikes out on an inside pitch. So 2 down. Here's big wheel Lance Parrish. And Parrish will get a base hit through the left side, past the shortstop, and Kemp stops at second. So runners at first and second. And here's the right fielder, Champ Summers. Summers hits a high pop fly on the infield, and that'll be the third out. So we're going to leave Underwood in there to get through most of these lefties. And as I mentioned last inning, we're still hurting a little bit for starting pitchers. We have Schatzeder starting, and he really should be in relief. And Billingham is our number 5 starter, and we really can't count on him down the stretch, I don't think. So we will be getting Milt Wilcox back in 13 days. So it'll be nice to get him back into the rotation. There's 2 out as Dwyer flies out to center and Boggs flies out to left. So Pat Underwood's going to be facing his first righty in Jim Rice. And Rice is going to get a base hit to left. So 2 down, here's Yaz, who's 0 for 2 with a walk against Underwood. And Yaz is going to line it to Brookins, and that'll be the third out. So after 4, it's 5-1. Red Sox have 9 hits already. And top of the 5th, we have Mark Wagner leading off. Wagner's going to fly out to center field. That's going to be the first out. So our B team that played yesterday is also playing in this game, and they're not nearly as effective as Brookins pops out to right. So it's going to be 2 down. Back to the top of the lineup with Rick Peters. Peters strikes out. So bottom of the 5th, we're going to let Underwood pitch at least to these 2 lefties. Or maybe try to at least get us through the 5th. So Dave Rader's going to strike out to lead off the bottom of the 5th. And Tom Paquette comes to the plate. He also strikes out. So 3 Ks for Underwood. And now we have Rick Burleson, who doesn't have a lot of power, so we're going to pull the outfield in. Try to prevent any bloops. Oh, that's definitely not a bloop. As he bounces it off the wall and the Green Monster. And it's going to be a double for Burleson. So every time I've pulled the outfield in this game, it's backfired. So maybe we don't need to do that in Fenway. And Mike Kingry's going to get a base hit to score a run. So that backfired all the way around. So 2 down, back to the top of the lineup. Here's Joe Morgan, runner at first. Scores 6-1, and Morgan's going to ground out to first base. So I think part of the reason why the Red Sox are doing so well in this game is our poor defense ratings. It seems like if you have one bad defensive player, you're all right. But if you have more than one, then the game seems to take advantage of that. So with our right fielder being terrible and our second baseman being below average, that's got to be one of the main reasons why the Red Sox have 11 runs. And then couple that with my number 5 starter. So that's a recipe for disaster, obviously. So we'll learn from that. So we head to the bottom of the 6th as the Tigers go out 1-2-3. And Jim Dwyer's going to lead off. And Dwyer strikes out. It's 4 Ks for Underwood. And Wade Bogg comes up with 1 out. He's going to send it to center field, and Bunnell has it for the 2nd out. And I guess we're going to let Underwood pitch to Rice. And Rice is going to get a base hit to center. So this will be, I guess this will be Underwood's last batter. As he walks, tosses a wild pitch. Rice advances to second. So runner at second base for Yaz now, and he's going to pop it up to right field. So we head to the top of the 7th, and John Tudor is definitely in control. Our primary righty lineup is not batting it around like they were yesterday, as Bunnell grounds out to second. So here's Parrish, who has one of the 5 hits today. He hits it back to Tudor, and that's going to be the 2nd out. So 2 down. Champ Summers comes to the plate. And he strikes out, so another 1-2-3 inning for Tudor. So Underwood pitched 3 1/3 innings, gave up 1 run, had 4 Ks. So, I mean, that's not a bad appearance under the circumstances. And being down 1 lefty with Capizella pitching the 3 innings yesterday, we're going to have to go to our setup lefty, John Hiller. And we'll see if he can get us through these last couple of innings. Not a good start, as Dave Rader gets a base hit to the left side. That's right, I forgot Dave Rader is batting .366, and he was batting over 400 in the last time we saw him, the last time the Tigers played the Red Sox. So, I mean, I guess he's slumped a little bit down to .366. So back-to-back hits given up by Hiller, and we find ourselves in another jam. I want to bring the outfield in, but we already know that doesn't work. So Hiller's going to face the righty Rick Burleson. He actually does well versus righties. Burleson's going to pop it over the head of Peters, and it falls in, and that'll get another run in. So now we're down 7-1. This game is already out of hand. I don't have as much confidence as I did in yesterday. Oh my gosh. John Hiller balks. And that brings in another run. Burleson advances. Still no outs. 2 runs in. And we are definitely in trouble. So Kingery grounds out to Peters. And it doesn't do us much good to pull the infield in. But if we can prevent 1 run from being scored. Yep. Morgan's going to hit a liner to left. That's going to get Burleson in from third. And that'll be the 9th run. So today is just not our day. As Jim Dwyer gets a base hit up the middle. 3 runs given up by Hiller. I feel bad for him. He had an over 10 ERA early in the season, and he worked it all the way down to a 3.23 coming into this game. As Wade Bogg gets another hit. So we got to take him out for a righty. We're going to bring in Tom Hume. And I didn't see what was Hiller's ERA's back up over 4. So, yeah, it's unfortunate. So Tom Hume gets Rice to ground to third, and that will be the 3rd out of the inning. Defensively, Fred Lynn comes in to play right field. I'm not sure why that would be, but I guess that makes sense, right? And they're going to bring in Skip Lockwood, who I think is their setup man. Maybe he's their closer. No, Eckersley's their closer. So Lockwood's going to be their setup man. And we may as well let the scrubs get their hits. There's Mark Wagner getting a base hit to right. And that'll bring up Tommy Brookins, runner at first. And Brookins will get a base hit to right. Yeah, may as well, right? But we have to lose. Wagner's safe at third. So first and third, Rick Peters doesn't hit righties nearly as good as he hits lefties. And he's going to hit a long fly ball to center. That will get the run in from third. As Wagner tags up and scores. So we put another run on the board. Trying not to embarrass ourselves. Too much, anyway. So 1 down for Tram. Tram's going to hit it to right field. And that'll be a line out. And that'll be the 2nd out of the inning. Bring it up Steve Kemp. Kemp's going to hit a line drive off the Green Monster. Brookins advances to third. Kemp coasts into second base for a double. And we have 2 runners in scoring position, so a big blast from Carlton Fisk, and we are back in this game. Nope, as he strikes out swinging. So, yeah, it's just not meant to be. Some of these games you can tell when the tide turns and we get some momentum going our direction, but this is not one of those games. So we're going to let Tom Hume pitch to Yaz. We don't have any more lefties anyway, as Hiller was completely ineffective today. But Hume gets Yastrzemski to ground out. Dave Rader, we finally put that guy down as he grounds to short for the 2nd out. And that'll bring up Tom Paquette. And he's going to pop it up on the infield. So Hume gets us through the 8th. And we're down to our final 3 outs. So top of the 9th, Barry Bonnell. He leads the team in home runs now with 10. He grounds it to short, and that's going to be 1 down. So here's the big wheel, Lance Parrish. Parrish grounds it to first. And that's the 2nd out. And it's going to be up to Champ Summers. And he hits it right down into the dirt. And looks like the catcher got it, threw him out at first. And that'll be the end of the ball game. A terrible game all the way around. We lose 9-2. And let's take a look at the transactions. Nothing new here of note. So let's pull up the box score and we'll finish off this abomination. As always, I appreciate everyone following along. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying this content. I know today wasn't exactly as flawless as yesterday's game, but I'll get better as I learn how to change up and fix this format. Let's see. So yeah, Billingham takes the big loss there, 3-7 on the year. I guess the player of the game is going to be Tom Brookins with his 4th home run and 2 hits up to 221. So we got to give him credit for that. So as always, I appreciate everyone following along, and we will see you tomorrow.